Hello and welcome back to Average Arcader. I'm your host, Chuck, and today we're going to be taking a look at another classic Sega Genesis game, Alien Storm. Now I have zero experience with this game. In fact, I didn't even know it existed until very recently when I was looking for games to cover on the channel. Now, when I first played through this game, I said to myself, I have to review this. So, come with me on this interesting journey through Alien Storm. Okay, so right off the back, you're going to notice that the character I chose looks awfully familiar.
Who you gonna call?
No, I'm serious. This is a total ripoff of Ghostbusters. In fact, the name of the group that all the playable characters are a part of is called Alien Busters. Alien Busters, that's what they call them. Come on. They didn't even try to hide the fact that they were ripping them off. In fact, there are a couple classic sci-fi movies that this game rips off. Alien, The Thing, oh, and also My Worst Nightmares. Dude, that's just freaky. The enemies of this game are some of the weirdest I've ever seen. I don't know if I'm fighting this thing or putting it out of its misery. These guys here look like they just want a hug, but they shall receive none from me. The gameplay isn't too bad. It's split up into two different sections. Classic side-scroller, and then first-person shooter on rails. The controls take a little time to get used to, but with some practice, you can pretty much master all the different moves that you can do. It's not the worst feeling game I've played, but I've definitely played games that feel a whole lot better. You know, there's actually 3 different gameplay sections, not 2. The third one I like to call the sprinting section. Why do I call it the sprinting section? Well, your character will chug about 50 Red Bulls, then runs.
Gotta go fast!
This has got to be the most ridiculous thing I have ever seen. What was stopping them from programming in a truck, or a jeep, or a hovercraft? Anything besides him running just on foot chasing after Alien. Just look at how fast the background is going by. This guy would have to be going around 80 miles per hour to maintain a speed like this. Look, even when he trips, he still maintains his speed. That's one bad alien buster. The game isn't too hard, nor is it that long. So in an effort to increase playtime and difficulty, in a normal playthrough you only get 3 continues, and each continue only has 1 life. On top of that, health pickups are extremely rare, and you can only really find them in the on-rail shooter sections. Also, the energy that you use for your main attack and your special attack can go down pretty quickly. Once it's out, you can only use weak melee attacks. So you're forced to use the melee attacks through most of the level so that you can save your energy for the final boss of each level, thus dragging out the levels. I hate it when games do this, because it's just a lazy way of adding to the playtime, instead of just adding the content that will keep us busy. The enemy variety is pretty low too. I counted about 5 different enemy types. Now when you compare that to most games that are side scrollers and beat 'em up of that time, most of them had around 8 to 10 different enemy types. So 5 enemies is pretty low. So after we fight through all the crappy enemies and the crappy levels, we get to fight the crappy final boss, which is just a giant brain. He's the easiest boss that you will ever fight in any game. He just sits there while you fight all of his minions, and then eventually they're all gone and you just keep shooting it until you give it an extreme case of brain freeze. And with that, the game ends, and we're taken to the credits where all the characters in the game are doing a very weird dance. As I keep saying, this game is very weird. And that's it. All in all, I would rate this game around 7 out of 10. It's worth checking out once, but you'll probably never play it again. And that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining me. If you have any games you think we should cover on the channel, leave them in the comments. But until next time, I'm Chuck, this is Average Arcader. Have a nice day.